Hi. In the last clip we talked about the inner world, and this clip is about the outer world, the world we live in, the present world that exists at this moment, which is ever moving forward, it seems, and we then can reflect on the past, which becomes memories, and the way that we have shaped the world that we live in. It's reflected in that. The way that we can escape from this present world should also be noted, that things like daydreaming and fantasies are very important to human beings as a way that when the life becomes unbearable, overbearing, we can escape into another world, this world of daydreaming, creating worlds for ourselves that fulfill many of our needs. Now, reality is something that we only know of as in the present. It's very hard because we don't particularly understand what reality is, and the scientists are always working, as with artists and other people, working to establish what is real, and we have not yet to find that. But we know that in the world that we live in this universe we live in, is huge. We know that there are billions of galaxies, and these galaxies are made of billions and billions of stars, and we know beyond that it's expanding, and beyond that is the darkness, the coldness, which is the same darkness that we have on the rims of our inner world. So there's a correlation there between the two. We know that we can access, and we're only beginning to understand how we can access this huge universal world, universe that we live in. How can we reach out and discover it? One way we're doing it is physically, but we also that mentally, that we will be able to link in with others. We're beginning to understand the idea, the concepts now, that we can link in with people 10,000 miles away, that we can share the same thoughts at the same time, that we should eventually be able to communicate. We also have strong indications that we should be able to link with the universe as well, link in with whatever we are about to discover. And at the moment we're doing this through huge telescopes, and we're bringing those worlds closer to us. And the more that we understand about the way that the universe is constructed, the more we may be able to relate to it. I mean, there are many different thoughts. A contemporary thought is that there may be another world that is, as we're travelling one way, another world is travelling through us. We don't know. There's so much, but there is possibilities. This will link up with idea of being able to maybe see ghosts or seeing things that are unrelated to our world in the distance. So the world we live in is so unknown, so little is known, and the way that we communicate is really so limited at the moment. We communicate through technology, and we have yet to explore the way that we can communicate in other forms, and that will come where we can transcend this sort of the present into another way of communicating and sending messages and linking in and using the energy and vast resources that the human mind has, and we're racing at a tremendous rate. So this is another part of our spirituality, another way that we we explore it. And we can explore it through science, we can explore it through arts, and arts are extremely important about establishing certain ideas and way we think and moving us forward. So most of what spirituality is about the chosen path we're on and how we develop ourselves along that chosen path. And in this present reality, that is what we have the ability to do. So we can choose the path we want to go, and we can choose how we shape it. But when we are shaping that world, we have an enormous responsibility that whatever we do has to be thought about, and that what we're looking for is a more equitable society where everyone benefits and we don't harm people by the things that we put in place. And that then comes back to justice and conscience and looking at the way that we choose to live our life. And is it in harmony with the world that we live in? And later on, in another clip, I will talk about nature and communication with nature and the role of nature within our lives. So this ability, this journey that we're on through this world is so important. Each one of us is unique, and we need to understand that uniqueness. When we look around us, we can see that, for instance, every snowflake is different. Well, if every snowflake is different, every human being is so different. Not only by the way they look, but by the way they think, and by their actions, and most of all, their intelligence and skills. And it's looking at people's potential, and in this present world, it is very, very important that we should look at how we develop each person's potential. That in turn, if they realise that potential, that not only makes the individual happier and gives them purpose in their life, it then also benefits society in so many ways. And this benefit of society from individuals is really it's not really explored. What we try to do is we try to put people through the same route as everybody else. And we said there's only one route you must go. Everyone has to go this route. That is not so. Human beings and the world we live in is far more contemplated. And if we are to understand it, then the only way to understand it is by releasing the potentials and the skills in every human being. Because we tend to put people either in boxes, or we tend to say there's only one way that we can progress on our journey. This is absolutely not true. This doesn't release our spirituality. All of us have skills. That is part of the human being. And it's releasing that skills, and it's understanding that they are not the same. That some people will be academic, some people will be creative artistically, some people will be great organisers, some people will have an affinity with the natural world or with animals. That we all have different abilities and skills and potentials that need exploring and examining. And unless we help people to fulfil their own potential, what we will do, we are restricting something. That's why one of the reasons why there is so much destruction. You know why young people who live on the state street feel so isolated? Is because they know they have something to offer society. They know they have something to offer, but they can't fulfill that because the way our education system is structured, the way society is structured, doesn't allow them to fulfill what they have. And we need to ensure that everyone feels that they are a contributor to our society. Otherwise we lead to isolation, or we lead to alienating people, and that I feel that we need to change. So in the next part I will then talk about value and the importance of the nature, the spirituality aspect.